Ladies and gentlemen, hello to everyone wherever you are around the world. A special hello to the honorable people of Burkina Faso, whom I commend for their resilience. My civil name is Robert Théa. For those who have just arrived on my page, I am a teacher researcher in the Faculty of Law at the largest university in the Republic of Guinea and the General Lassana Conte University of Sanfonia-Conakry. I am the president of the political party called the Citizens Party at the Service of the Republic, in the Republic of Guinea-Conakry, of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, we all watched with embarrassment, with shame, this outburst from the Ivorian reggae artist, Fadal D, whose songs we loved. In fact, it must be said that the only song he sang, that was really good, where he said, Ajami ye bena aja furu, Ajami ye bena aja furu, furu sobe re. We all danced to that. But as if by magic, as these African reggae men age, it becomes something else. We saw Tiken Jah Fakoly attack the revolution in the Sahel. And this time, it's Fadal D who comes out. Ibrahim Traoré did nothing to him today. He did nothing to him tomorrow. He comes out to cast discredit and anathema on Ibrahim Traoré. He released an album with 26 tracks. It's embarrassing. It's even very shameful. So much so that since he no longer has success, he thought, I'll make 26 tracks to see which song will succeed. And the worst part is that he is paid by President Ouattara to sing against Ibrahim Traoré. You know, Fadal D is Dioula. So, Ouattara is his brother. So, he knows very well what's happening. The geopolitical conflict occurring between Côte d'Ivoire and the Sahel. No one is unaware of it. We know what Ouattara's regime is doing against the Sahel, what he intended to do against Niger. Today, other countries have started to rally around Niger. But Côte d'Ivoire, Ouattara's regime, still sticks to its logic. For those who haven't followed, go on YouTube or put Fadal D on Facebook. You'll see. I am not allowed to post this song here. He makes a very poorly sung song since we know real reggae, where he attacks Ibrahim Traoré and says that the gentleman claimed he would solve all of Burkina Faso's problems in 6 months. But he's been in power for 2 years. Nothing has changed. It's not because this gentleman is blind, ladies and gentlemen. And then he says, Ibrahim Traoré, you talk too much. What does that mean? I want to speak to the Burkinabe people. First, let's talk about this artist. Then, I want to return with my message to the Burkinabe people, because there is something very strong behind this statement. There is something very strong, very powerful, I would say. Fadal D is an artist who hasn't had success or visibility for a long time. So, the deal was certainly proposed to him. He accepts first. He pockets the money. They give him a lot of money. Moreover, it allows people to talk about him. Because if he hadn't made this statement, today, for example, I wouldn't be talking about him. His album with 26 tracks, the only track that interested people is the one where he attacked President Ibrahim Traoré, the comrade of Ibrahim Traoré. The others, no one knows what he sang. Today, Western media and local lackeys are heavily promoting his music, but he is being paid by them. It's a strategy. It's a strategy because the revolution in Burkina is starting to bear fruit. and it intends to spread to other states. Be careful. Share this video in the conference. Yes. The struggle that Ibrahim Traoré is leading is starting to bear fruit. That's why it's causing discomfort. Fadal is an artist who has lost. He no longer has a career. No. So both aspects please him. The money he pockets, because France and the Ouattara regime are funding it, but also it gives him visibility again. You know, in this life, there is a very strong strategy that Ivorians have mastered. When you want to be great, you have to go after great personalities. You have to go after someone greater than you, and who is very loved. Do you want to be known? Go after someone who is very popular, more than you. This is the strategy that Fadal has chosen to use. He has accepted the game of local pawns because he himself finds it beneficial. And let's get back. A rugby player is a revolutionary. Fadal has never been a rugby player. No. Even the rugby music, he doesn't sing it well. We know rugby players, we know regiments. Fadal, the text he sang, it was written, it was given to him. It's clear. He is seeking visibility. The true regiments are revolutionaries, but this gentleman is not one of them. He is not a revolutionary. And believe me, people of Burkina, I am addressing you. What Fadal just did, don't let it hurt you. No. See him. Leave him be. The Ouattara regime, let them continue. It's proof that Ibrahim Traoré is succeeding in his fight. Who is Ibrahim Traoré fighting against? Imperialism and its local lackeys. But who is the primary local lackey of Western imperialism in West Africa? It's the Ouattara regime. And who is Fadal? He's a younger brother of Ouattara. Well, these are good fights. You must understand that the success of the Burkinabe revolution is so painful. It's gnawing at the Ouattara regime that he is now forced to resort to artists. And the people of Burkina, you must not empower this artist. Don't even pay attention. No. Well, 2 days, 3 days, and then let's forget about it. Let's forget. Otherwise, Ouattara will pay other artists again. Since he has used many schemes, it has never hurt the Burkinabés. They went through Jeune Afrique. It didn't hurt. We handled it in 2 days. Afterwards, Jeune Afrique came back. It went unnoticed. Now, he has used this artist. If he sees that it hurts, he will pay another artist from his ethnicity again. This one will come out again. All this is to slow down the revolution in Burkina Faso. Let's go back a bit. When he says, the man talks too much. Hey, that's France asking him to say it, right? Because Ibrahim Traoré, what he says, I even want him to speak at the end of every week. He awakens consciousness. He awakens consciousness. No matter what we can criticize Captain Moussa Dadis Camara for when he was in power, we still acknowledge that he spoke. He denounced, he said out loud, what other heads of state didn't dare to say. Until he went on to say that Guinea is not a district of France, nor a sub-prefecture of France. That's what led to France's relentless pursuit against him. They made him leave power. Because Ibrahim Traoré speaks today, they want to make him leave power. No, please, don't forget, dear Burkinabe, share this in all the groups in Burkina, please. That is to say, the Westerners, the imperialists, they don't want a leader who awakens consciousness. When you speak, you awaken consciousness. They say, you talk too much. Because what Ibrahim Traoré says is disturbing. Thanks to Ibrahim Traoré today, but listen. When you consider the three heads of state, assimigoita, tchiani, it's Ibrahim Traoré who speaks the most. And he speaks very well. There you go. It doesn't mean that the others are doing nothing. But it is thanks to him that today the African youth is standing up. We have understood many things. And it hurts them when Ibrahim Traoré explains the plans, the proposals that the imperialists with their local lackeys came to make to him. It hurts them. And we should indeed applaud Ibrahim Traoré. You should congratulate yourselves, dear people of Burkina. When Fadal says in his song, you need to organize the elections and leave. No, this burden is too heavy for you. You cannot handle it. Let's be careful. Let's tell the truth. When Ibrahim Traoré fights to combat the terrorists, who brings the terrorists back? But it is the local lackeys of the imperialists. When the terrorists flee, the tri-border area, towards which country do the terrorists head? So they do everything to ensure that Ibrahim Traoré cannot effectively fight against the terrorists, so that this issue with the terrorists does not end. So they themselves are at the root. And the fact that Ibrahim Traoré is really putting pressure on the terrorists with the unified force of the AES, it hurts them very, very much. They have nowhere to feed anymore. That's one. Secondly, when they say elections must be organized and then leave, is Fadal Day, is he Burkinabe? No, he is not Burkinabe. Fadal Day is not Burkinabe. So, what interest does he have in demanding the organization of elections? He is not a Burkinabe citizen, even if perhaps he has a somewhat Burkinabe origin, but he is not Burkinabe. He does not have Burkinabe nationality. So what interest does he have in demanding the organization of elections? It is the people who decide the type of political regime they want. If the Burkinabes want today, they will establish a monarchy. Why doesn't he stand up and tell Morocco, organize elections? What kind of heart does he have? No. You know, it's because we Africans have let it happen. We said we want democracy. If Burkina also wants, Burkina will say, we are now a kingdom, and Ibrahim Traoré is our king. End of story, it's over. Who will say anything? It is the people who decide. What interest does he have? Yes, he has a particular interest. His masters asked him to say that, since it is these masters who have a particular interest. These masters would like elections to be organized, so they can place a local puppet at the head of the state of Burkina, someone like Damiba, who can be manipulated at will. I tell you once again, people of Africa, open your eyes. The revolution hurts them a lot. Why did they send Sékou Touré to eternal rest? Because he was at the head of a revolution. When he says, you walk like Sankara, you wear your scarf like Sankara, and you speak like Sankara, but you are not Sankara. Listen. And then he says, Sankara said there will be fake Sankaras. Listen. President Ibrahim Traoré has a religious respect for comrade Thomas Sankara. But even during Sankara's lifetime, he was opposed. He was opposed. Yes, it was only after his departure, sometime later, that people began to recognize his effort. I tell you today, the world will recognize what Ibrahim Traoré is doing. Ibrahim Traoré is even going beyond what Sankara had done. That is, what Sankara could not do. He is taking steps, walking this path. It's not because we don't recognize what Sankara did. We recognize Sankara, he is a hero. Ibrahim Traoré is Ibrahim Traoré. And keep your eyes wide open. History is always like that. It is always said, no one is ever a prophet in their own land. and in their own time. In your own land. And in your own time, you are never considered a prophet. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, when he was born in Mecca, as he began to grow, people knew that yes, he was someone special. But when the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, began to preach the word of God, to ask, because the Meccans at the time were polytheists, they believed in the existence of multiple gods. They worshipped, they practiced idolatry at the Kaaba. When he began to raise their awareness, it was his own family, the tribe of Quraysh, that rose against the Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. And then, because it was very intense behind him, he was forced to flee Mecca to head to Yathrib. It was in Yathrib that the inhabitants recognized him in his greatness. They decided to change the name of their city, to call it Medina, which means the city of the Prophet. And it was after Medina, he spent some time in Medina. Afterwards, he returned triumphantly to Mecca. He went to destroy the idolatries and all that. He imposed the will of God, Jesus Christ. When Jesus Christ was alive, they said, he is a liar. They called him a liar until they crucified him. It was after his death that he was covered in glory, that until today, the world recognizes what he did. Burkina, Africans, we are at a decisive turning point in our history. What Burkina, what Ibrahim Traoré is doing, be glad that people are rising to criticize here and there, a relentless pursuit against him. It's true, it hurts a lot, but it should tell you that it's proof that what he is doing is starting to bear fruit. It is really starting to bear fruit, ladies and gentlemen. They only cut down or stone the tree that bears fruit. If it wasn't bearing fruit, nothing would be said about it. But it's because he is causing a stir. Be proud of it. And I say a big thank you to the people of Burkina. For those who can respond, Fadal, you need to respond to him. But let's not give too much importance to this man who ended his career in a lamentable way, who has nothing more to say, who lacks visibility, and who wants to use the growing popularity of Ibrahim Traoré to make a name for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, let's stay focused on the objective of the ES. Let's move on to something else. And so, I was a bit longer, but it was necessary. Thank you for sharing this video conference as much as possible. Thank you for subscribing. I will get back to you shortly with new updates. This was the voice of Robert Théa.